but we all saw that hotel tape where he physically assaulted Cassie. And not once did she fight back. So, look, I'm standing in front of 500 Pearl Street, the Southern District of New York's courthouse, where hip hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs will soon face the fight of his life. Now, he was once considered a king of New York, shaping music and culture, but now he enters this building not as a mogul, but as a defendant. Now, with a possible life sentence on the line and no plea deal accepted, Diddy is placing his fate in the hands of a jury. So, over the next 2 months, we'll find out if his defense can clear his name or if this is the end of an era. Now, the jury hasn't actually officially been chosen, believe it or not. The judge agreed with the defense that some jurors may actually get cold feet. And the reality is that some already have. In fact, one potential juror even emailed the court asking to be removed due to safety concerns. So the defense believes more may actually follow this upcoming weekend. So as a result, the trial is briefly delayed. So jury selection will resume first thing Monday morning. They think it may take only about 15 minutes. And then after that, opening statements will begin. But it does beg the question, should this jury actually be sequestered? Now, they've promised the judge that they will not consume media about this case. But look, we live in a world where news honestly finds you. You don't have to search for it, it can just pop up in your feed. But honestly, the court system, in my opinion, needs to get smarter about this. Maybe it's time jurors get maybe temporary phones, just as an example. These phones may block certain apps or block certain access to certain things. But something has to change, in my opinion. And I see this being a problem, not just here, but in trials across the board. Now, I know that Trump's jury, they weren't sequestered either. And look, we know that he truly dominates the news cycle. So maybe this will be just fine, but I do worry. But what do you think? Should juries be better protected from outside influence? Drop your comments below. Now, let's talk about Diddy's defense. Word is that they will argue that Cassie was just as violent as Diddy and that he was actually the victim. Now, I've heard this kind of argument before. OJ Simpson once said similar things about Nicole Simpson. After it was revealed he would attack her. So maybe this is just something that abusers do. They just often flip the script. But in my personal opinion, I'm not sold on that argument. I know there is more evidence that needs to be seen, and I know that Diddy denies certain claims made against him. But we all saw that hotel tape where he physically assaulted Cassie. And not once did she fight back. So, no, I don't buy that she personally was the aggressor in this relationship. Now, I know that this trial isn't about DV directly, it's actually about trafficking, power, and the question of coercion. But the question is, were Cassie and others pressured or forced into certain activities? And from what I saw in that very disturbing hotel video where she tries to leave and he drags her barefoot back into their room, it's very hard to not see coercion because that was not consent. That was control, in my opinion. Now, some are also trying to make this case about race. In fact, his defense may do that, about how the government is trying to bring down a powerful Black man. But I personally see it differently. Race, no doubt, is omnipresent in the US. But for this case, if race is playing a role, to me, it's in how Black women and women of color have been mistreated, silenced, and overlooked for far too long. This case is about power, money, and not respect, but disrespect. And now justice will be put to the test. And I will personally be following this case, of course, closely, and I'll report it here. And I believe Cassie will be one of the first to take the stand. And I know her attorney has apparently been very present during these past proceedings. So with that, I'm keeping her lifted as I know the cross-examination will likely be very difficult. But of course, with her being pregnant, in terms of optics, the defense, in my opinion, better tread lightly. So with that, happy Mother's Day. Peace.